Welcome to the Underdog Fantasy Pick'em Show on the LineStar YouTube channel. Alongside my co-host Tyler Wiemann, I am Shannon Sommerville, and we've got your 5 Pick'em picks for Week 2 in the NFL. Got some good ones on the slate for you this week. Got to do some redeeming from last week, Tyler. We weren't so good on our picks, so dug ourselves a little bit of a hole, but I'm confident that we can get ourselves out of this and put together a winning entry on Underdog Fantasy. By the way, if you don't have Underdog Fantasy yet, go ahead and download it. Use the promo code LineStar when you do. You'll get a nice deposit bonus right now for a limited time, only $1,000 up to for that deposit bonus. Plus, you'll also get 1 free month of LineStar. But just remember to use that promo code LineStar. And before we get started, if you could do us a huge favor, like this video, subscribe to the LineStar YouTube channel, and comment below. Let us know what your picks are for Underdog Fantasy this week. If you've got a lock, we want to hear from you. Drop it in the comments. We're all trying to help each other out to win some money in Week 2 here. So we want to hear from you guys in the comments. And as always, we're using the PropsAI tool on the LineStar app to help us find the best value on Underdog Fantasy. You can check that out at LineStarApp.com. So Week 1 is behind us. Week 2 is here. I've, gotten myself right, in the head after Monday Night Football. My Jets, absolutely abysmal performance. So we're ready to roll here. What about you, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm excited to get to Week 2. We have a little more data starting, so we actually know a little bit more of what's going on with these teams. Before, it was just kind of our thoughts and news we have heard, but we're starting to understand a little bit more about the teams.
Absolutely.
So I personally like, as the season gets on, the first part of the season is always a little tough for me.
Yeah, just trying to gauge how teams are utilizing certain players and stuff. But now we've got 1 week under our belt, so we've learned a little bit. So we're going to build on that knowledge and put it to the test in our picks for Week 2. Also on Underdog Fantasy right now, a CeeDee Lamb discounted pick at 0.5 total yards to take advantage of as well. So we're going to throw that one on our pick'em entry as well. But let's get to our picks. We're going to do 3 from that PropsAI tool on the LineStar app, and then Tyler and I will each give our favorite pick on Underdog Fantasy for this week. So let's start things out with our first pick coming from the Detroit Lions. It's the wide receiver Jameson Williams, higher than 47.5 receiving yards. Williams had 121 receiving yards Week 1 against the Rams. That game was kind of a palate cleanser after what was kind of a slow afternoon of games there. But he is listed as questionable with an ankle injury. However, love his spot here going up against a Tampa Bay defense that is riddled with injuries. And it's looking like he could likely go up against third-round rookie slot corner Tyke Smith. And listen to this stat. Among 66 NFL wide receivers with at least 24 receiving snaps, Williams' 79.7 PFF receiving grade ranks 10th. Among 31 NFL slot defensive backs with at least 15 slot coverage snaps, Smith's 46.5 PFF slot coverage ranks 27th out of 31. So this is a great matchup that we can exploit here in Week 1. I'm liking the pick here. How about you?
Yeah, I like it too. The other thing here is the Tampa Bay Bucks defensive scheme. They like to bring pressure. They like to stop the run. And when you're bringing extra people in a blitz, it leaves a lot of single high safety situations. We know Williams has just insane talent as far as his athleticism. If you're getting one safety looks, Goff is going to try and air it out and get some deep balls to him. If one of those connects, he's looking at maybe over 100 again this game. So I like the spot for Jameson.
All right, next up, last week's opponent for the Detroit Lions was the Los Angeles Rams, and we saw a great game out of Cooper Kupp, and that's where we're looking again this week. Kupp over 86.5 receiving yards. Kupp had 110 Week 1 against the Lions, the second most receiving yards as well from the slot in Week 1 in the NFL. Also, we've got a situation with Puka Nacua, who left that game with a knee injury. He's out for quite a while, so it's Kupp's job to kind of take over here and going up against Arizona, a team he's torched in the past for well over 100 yards. And second-year cornerback Garrett Williams, who he might be matched up against a good bit, he was good last week, but this is Cooper Kupp we're talking about, and Matt Stafford likes to target him early and often. What do you think?
Yeah, Cooper Kupp had 21 targets last week. It's just an insane amount of work. He's going to get that again. I mean, not 21. That's ridiculous,
Yeah.
but he's going to get a ton of work. He's healthy. And what we've seen is as long as he is absolutely healthy, the guy has been crushing. He's healthy now. He's in a great matchup. Arizona's defense is terrible. I expect this game to be pretty high pace, have a lot of scoring. I really like targeting this game.
And that's exactly why for our next pick, we're sticking with the Rams, sticking with that high pace game, and we're going to the Rams running back Kyren Williams, higher than 74.5 rushing yards. LineStar's projection for Williams is 89.4, so pretty significant edge there according to our models. And I like the spot here going up against that Arizona rushing defense that gave up 130 rush yards last week to Buffalo. It seemed like Josh Allen kind of took over and just ran all over them. And in 2 games last season versus Arizona, Kyren Williams put up 143 and 158 rushing yards. So 74.5 seems like a walk in the park. What do you think?
I think that people are going to be a little scared seeing Kupp and Kyren together, but these two move together. This offense, when it's really working, the stars get it done. And right now with Puka out, the stars are Kupp and Kyren. They're going to get the ball a ton. And that's why I love putting both of these two on a slip together versus a team like Arizona, where we know there's going to be offense in the game. So I think Kyren is going to get his, and with how much work he's doing, played 91% of the offensive snaps, it's going to keep going. He did this last year also. His workload is insane. I'm riding Kyren.
All right, let's do it. Now it's time for you and I to give our picks on Underdog Fantasy for week 2. So who you got?
I'm going to go with Alvin Kamara over 28.5 versus the Dallas Cowboys. That kind of sounds scary, but I think Kamara is super safe for the targets. He had 5 targets in a game last week where they won by 37 points. He's going to have a couple games where he gets double-digit targets in those games. Those games are going to be when they're down. This is a great spot for one of those games to happen. He averaged 8.7 targets per game in losses last year. And those big double-digit target games happened when they lost big time. So I like the spot to go to Alvin Kamara when Saints are likely going to be down this game and they're going to have to pass, and Derek Carr loves to check down to him.
Yeah, and that's a really good point in this one because, the defense looks really scary right now. Micah Parsons is an absolute beast, and so you're certainly a little bit scared, but when you think about the game script and how it's going to work out for the Saints, you can kind of see how they would try to incorporate more of the passing to Alvin Kamara in this one. So I like the spot there for your pick. For my pick, I am going to a running back as well. We're going to Josh Jacobs, higher than 66.5 rushing yards. LineStar's projection for Jacobs is 78.9. We saw him get 84 rushing yards week 1 in Brazil against the Eagles. And this week, I think they could rely on him a little bit more. No Jordan Love in this game. He's likely out with an injury. So I think right now, as we're looking at it, Malik Willis is a backup right now. So that means I think they're going to lean on the run game a little bit more. And they're going up against the Indianapolis Colts, who just let Joe Mixon basically run all over them for 159 rushing yards, 213 rushing yards total allowed by that Colts defense. So I really like Josh Jacobs' spot here to clear on 66.5 rushing yards. Tyler, what do you make of Josh Jacobs' rushing yard prop for this week?
I mean, Mixon absolutely just crushed them. My only worry is Malik Willis is going to be the quarterback. And, I worry about that offense's ability and them just keying in on the run. But if Mixon is able to go for that many, Josh Jacobs absolutely is able to go for 66.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to put all of these on an entry on Underdog Fantasy and send it. You can tell us if you'd like there as well on Underdog Fantasy. Remember to use that promo code LineStar. And if you haven't already, drop your luck in the comment. A comment also enters you into our contest, whereby if we go 5 for 5 on our picks, one randomly selected commenter will win $100, and we'll announce that on the next Underdog Fantasy Pick'em show next week for week 3. So good luck in all of your endeavors for this week in Pick'em. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments for us. We are here to help you out. So hopefully we can get a winning entry this week, week 2. Let's send it. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you next time.